Ladies and gentlemen, it is 5:30 on this Monday night. Let's call this meeting on December 16th of the Aberdeen City Council to order. Thank you for joining us here in the chambers and also those who are online. I'm Alan Johnson, functioning this evening as Deputy Mayor, and in Mayor Shoneman's absence, I'll be conducting at his request. So happy to do that. It's been a windy day here in Aberdeen, bad hair day all the way around, I think, for those of us that have hair, but a great day to be indoors and conducting city business, and we have a full slate, a lot of it tonight. So, Jordan, would you please start us out with the roll call?
Please respond by stating present. Councilmember Ronayne.
Present.
Faubourg.
Present.
Liebelt.
Present.
Ward.
Present.
Johnson.
Present.
Reinbold.
Present.
Langer. Norbstrup.
Present.
Mayor Shoneman.
Thank you. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. We first need to establish our agenda for this evening, and what a very dynamic evening. There's a lot going on, and a couple of amendments and one additional agenda item. Let me just call those out. First of all, there's an amendment to item 7B, and when we get to that, the explanation is that the original format of the table was not suitable for print publication, and the new information now has data in a publication format. There are no changes to the activities within the ordinance. Also, 7E, when we get to that point, the date change will be reflected here as the 16th. The venue and governing law will shift from Minnesota to South Dakota, and those are by agreement with Ide Bailey for the engagement letter and governance planning letter. Finally, before we approve the agenda, we're adding an item 7N, and that will authorize our city manager to execute all necessary contract documents to finalize the water reclamation facility improvements phase 1, an agreement with PKG Contracting of Fargo after review and approval of the city attorney. So, with those two modifications and addition, I'll accept a motion to approve the agenda tonight.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion from Liebelt and a second by Ward. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Great. We met last 2 weeks ago, and so we're looking for next approval of the minutes from the December 2nd City Council meeting. I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve. Second.
Motion by Ward, second by Reinbold. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, nay? Thank you. All right. Chief Weig, are there any updates? Okay. We do have Mr. Carl Perry, who wishes to address the council in open forum. Carl.
It was pretty exciting to come in and hear the kids singing, because I think one of the most important things we have in our community is our youth. And today we had a great speaker talking to the youth, and that happened to be Commissioner Aaron Faubourg. She did a really great job. And then we had some youth that got some good awards. For Young Citizen Award, this is from the Exchange Club of Aberdeen. And the winners were from Aberdeen Roncalli, the Youth Citizenship Award was Grace Cogley and Alexander Hall. And then Holgate Youth Citizenship Awards went to Clara Holcomb and Oliver Byers. And then the Simmons Youth Citizen Award winner went to Mavis Sullivan and Estelle Eaglestart. And then the Aberdeen Christian Citizen Award went to Isabel Ross. So those are the ones that got the award. They are awarded that because people have saw a direct reflection from the parents, the family, the teachers, and the people that see these kids. They just said these are some really quality young citizens. And the Youth of the Month award is a little bit different. This is one that has to have good academics. They're involved in yearbook, they're involved in sports, they're involved in debate, they're involved in so many different things, it's unbelievable. But Aberdeen Central Youth of the Month was Mason Ligon, and Aberdeen Roncalli Youth of the Month was actually Matea Henrich, and also Leah Sarda was there today. And then the Aberdeen Christian Youth of the Month was Micah Kranzler. These are people that are just outstanding. Twist Cone and Ameriprise Financial and Thrivent and Hub City Livestock, I guess, were the people that sponsored that. But it's an important event. It does good things, and it recognizes one of the most important things we have in Aberdeen, and that's our youth. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Carl. What a happy note to bring forward. High achievers. We commend all of them and their parents and families, and also thank the sponsors that were helping with that. Thank you, Carl. All right. Our next item on the agenda is our consent calendar, and here we have a wide range of city commerce. We have several license renewals. We have 3 lottery notices. We have some liquor and wine licenses, and I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent calendar.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion by Foberg and a second by Reinbold. All in favor of approving, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Thank you. Motion passes. All right, for old business, we have a single item here. This is second reading of Ordinance 24-12-01, setting the fees and charges for certain services provided by the City of Aberdeen for next year, 2025. Jordan, do we have any new items or updates?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. There have been no changes to the ordinance since first reading, and staff recommends approval.
Thank you for that. I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve. Second.
We have a motion from Reinbold and a second from Ward. Any questions around the table? Okay. All right. Jordan, will you please do a roll call vote?
Councilmember Ronayne.
Aye.
Foberg.
Aye.
Liebelt.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Reinbold.
Aye.
Norvstrup.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Johnson.
Aye. Unanimous pass. Thank you. For new business, here we are approaching a total of 14 items, and the first is possible confirmation of the mayor's reappointment of Carl Alberts to the Aberdeen Housing Authority Board for a 5-year term. And that would be from years 25 through 29. And
Move to approve.
Second.
thank you. Motion by Ronayne, second by Ward. Any discussion? I just wanted to provide this one note that the mayor had written as an overview, that Carl is serving the final year of an unexpired term that will end on December 31st, and he is willing to serve a 5-year term and has high praise for the work he's been doing, and I look forward to continued service. We appreciate his expertise. All right. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed, nay. Thank you very much. Okay. We are next looking at possible first reading of Ordinance 24-12-02. And this is the 2024 final budget supplement and transfers. And here's where we have the modification. Jordan, do you want to take a moment to explain?
Sure. Thank you, Mayor. So what was distributed within the packet was an explanation of the ordinance. What I've added since publication is a text-based version that's suitable for publication. All the activity within is the same. There's no changes to that. So those are the only changes within what is being presented. Within the activity, this supplement ordinance provides expenditure authority and budget transfers to allow for various activities that have occurred in 2024. The most notable items are increases for personnel and wages as it relates to an accrual. normally we have 26 payrolls in a period, within a year. We have 27.2 this year, so this provides additional expenditure authority for that. Of note, that 1.2 payroll, which will occur in January, the January 3rd and the January 20th payroll, those are both at the increased 2025 rates. So what is normally more insignificant is more significant with this accrual in terms of budgetary authority. The budgetary authority, of course, is already in 25, but this grants the authority in 2024. Other increases that you'll see within this ordinance include insurance supplements, some various transfers related to moving the funds to the gift fund to the Parks and Rec fund for payroll in that fund. Some minor increases in debt service funds to allow for expenditures where we received additional revenue than what we had budgeted. And finally, just some transfers out, actually within a TIF fund that we had a shortfall. We were able to pay ourselves back within that TIF 29. So that's another good thing. There's a lot of activity within it. Like I said, this is kind of a routine ordinance that the city prepares. This is the final one for 2024. There's a lot of activity, but the city does a lot of things. We receive audit findings when a department exceeds its budgetary authority. This grants budgetary authority, moves cash, and prevents us from having audit findings. So with that, staff recommends approval of the ordinance as presented.
Okay.
Move to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Liebelt and a second by Reinbold to approve this first reading. A lot of activity there, but we're to the finish line. So I detect a smile at the corner of your lips there. Good. Let's take a roll call vote if there's no questions or other input from the council. Jordan, please.
Councilmember Norpstrup.
Aye.
Reinbold.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Liebelt.
Aye.
Fauberg.
Aye.
Ronayne.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Johnson.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. All right. We're looking at item C. Possible first reading of ordinance 24-12-06, supplementing the 2024 budget for various parks, recreation, and forestry department activities. Again, Jordan, we'll look to your input and guidance here.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Johnson. This ordinance does basically the same thing, except it's just for Parks and Rec activity. We have several different buckets of activity, and this is necessary to move the cash and funds from their gift fund and their other enterprise funds to where the activity needs to be reported for our financial reporting. Staff recommends approval.
Move to approve.
We have a motion by Ronayne and a second by Norpstrup. Any discussion or questions? Jordan, please.
Councilmember Ronayne.
Aye.
Fauberg.
Aye.
Liebelt.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Reinbold.
Aye.
Norpstrup.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Johnson.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you. All right. Item D under new business is possible approval of the Northeast Council of Governments NECOG Joint Cooperative Agreement for next year. And Jordan, will that again be you?
Yes, it will.
Please.
Thank you. This agreement is an annual agreement we have with NECOG to, they provide expertise and services for grant administration, advice and guidance on certain things that governments do. Staff recommends approval.
Thank you. And it looks like our city share is around 7,300. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay.
Move to approve.
We have a motion from Ronayne and a second from Norpstrup on this action item. Questions? We've seen this before. I think we're all familiar with it. All right. Jordan, please give a voice vote.
Councilmember Norpstrup.
Aye.
Reinbold.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Fauberg.
Aye.
Ronayne.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Johnson.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you. All right. For item E, we have the Eide Bailey Audit and Engagement Letter for audit of 2024 financial statements. And recognizing again the modification, Jordan, we're looking at you again.
Sure. This is the final year of a 5-year proposal that was submitted by Eide Bailey in 2020. The terms of the agreement are available. I didn't include them, but we've had success working with them. We look forward to another good, clean, quick audit. Staff recommends approval.
I'll entertain motions.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion from Ward and a second from Reinbold. I wonder if there's any conversation questions on this. Pretty straightforward. Okay, Jordan, please voice vote.
Councilmember Ronayne,
Aye.
Foberg,
Aye.
Liebelt,
Aye.
Ward,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Norpstrup,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Johnson.
Aye, motion passes. All right, we're looking at item F. This is first reading of ordinance 24-1203, a rezone from R1 to M, property located at 2002 5th Street North, the former Presentation College North Suites. All right, and Ken, do you want to yield the floor to, or do you want to introduce this item first?
Can introduce it and give my brief comments, and then
Yeah.
if Brett has comments, sure, you can.
Yeah.
The Aberdeen Housing Authority, a governmental agency, is requesting this petition to rezone to municipal, state, and county use in order to bring the property into a zoning district consistent with its proposed use as a multifamily apartment complex and management offices for the Aberdeen Housing Authority. The designation will allow the existing 36 suite units to be utilized for apartments and the Commons building to be repurposed for other uses, office uses, for the Housing Authority staff. The Aberdeen Planning Commission unanimously approved this petition to rezone on November 19th, 2024. Staff recommends approval.
All right, I'll entertain a motion from the council on this item.
Move to approve.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion from Monet and a second from Reinbold. Let's hear from Brett Bill.
I guess I could repeat what Ken said.
Sure.
I wouldn't be so eloquent. Exactly as he said, we bought the North Suites from Presentation. We're in the process of trying to renovate those to utilize those for apartments. It'd be multifamily, 3 and 4 bedroom apartments. And we plan on using the Commons building to the north as our office. We're going to add on to that to move our office to that area.
Okay. All right. With that explanation, questions that we want to ask for either Ken or from Brett?
Mr. Deputy Mayor,
Yes, please.
how does it work with I guess it's a bike path on the west side and of the entire Presentation Heights and the north side of Presentation Heights? Are they going to be impacted at all by the expansion of that building? And is anything changing with those, I guess, bike paths?
The current diagonal sidewalk, we had an easement placed on our plat, so it could still be utilized for a public sidewalk as the choice in the future. We just want to make sure that people didn't think that they were going to be trespassing if they decided to use that, because a lot of people still use that to walk their dogs or just to go out and walk.
The diagonal sidewalk, sorry?
Yes.
That
Yeah,
diagonal
please.
sidewalk that goes into the main part of the
Yes.
campus?
Yep. So there's an easement from the sidewalk all the way through our parking lot to the bike path that runs along North Fifth.
Okay.
The bike path on the west side of the suites will remain on Presentation property at this time. That was not included in any kind of plat at this point. I believe you got an easement to be able to gain access to the property that you're purchasing. We'll deal with that piece, but at this time, nothing else will change on that.
So, Brett, these will be unique in that there are 3 and 4 bedroom units. Do you have a waiting list, or how is that? How does that process look?
Well, for 3 and 4 bedrooms, I'm guessing there's approximately 300 people on that, 300 families on that waiting list.
Sure.
Unfortunately, we don't have vouchers for that many people, but we do have that many people waiting. So,
And what sort of timeline do you see for renovations?
well, we're hoping on the sooner end rather than later end, but I'm assuming probably spring, early summer, we'll be able to start filling those units.
Okay, wonderful. All right. I don't think we've taken our vote, have we? Let's roll, please. Jordan?
Councilmember Norvstrup,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Ward,
Aye.
Liebelt,
Aye.
Foberg,
Aye.
Ronayne,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Johnson.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you, Council.
Thank you, Brett, for being here. Okay. We are looking next at possible approval of a resolution gifting surplus land to a nonprofit corporation for a public purpose. And this will be Ron Wager, City Attorney, addressing this agenda item.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. This is a three-part motion, which it seems like all my council action requests ask for a three-part motion, but I want to make sure that the minutes reflect that. First, we'll be asking that you move to surplus the property known as Lot 1 of Safeguard ADC subdivision, then gift that surplus land via a quitclaim deed to ADC for a public purpose, and then lastly, to authorize the city manager to execute necessary documents to effect the transfer. And there is a resolution as part of this package. But in 2020, the council passed a resolution accepting this lot and several other lots from ADC as a gift for no monies. And at that time, it was thought that this particular lot might be the place for the next water tower. As it turned out, that was not able to be the site because of RPZ issues, and so the city ended up acquiring other property in which to construct the water tower. Now ADC is in the process of purchasing properties adjacent to this for a new development park, new industrial park, I'm sorry, and they need this property back as part of their funding opportunities. And so we are requesting that the property be gifted back to ADC under SDCL 6-5-2, which allows for gratuitous transfers of property to a nonprofit corporation for a public purpose. And the public purpose here is to facilitate the new industrial park, and then eventually to work out an acquisition of property from them within that park area for the public works facility. There have been discussions about where that would be located, whether it's in the southwest part of town, the northwest part of town, but it looks like the new industrial park would be a perfect place for the new public works facility. So the resolution that we've provided shows the surplus of the land, the gifting of the land, and then authorizing our city manager to sign that. City staff would recommend approval of the resolution.
I move approval of the resolution.
Second.
We do have a motion by Ronayne and a second by Councilwoman Foberg to approve this and move it along.
Deputy
What
Mayor?
comments or questions, please?
I will be
Councilman Moore.
abstaining from this one. Just
Thank you
wanna
for
let the record
clarifying.
show.
that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. What questions do we need to ask?
Mr. Deputy Mayor,
Please, Councilwoman.
can we look at page 122, that map, and can someone just walk us through all the red shapes?
I can help you out on that, Councilwoman Foberg. That was the map as part of the 2020 resolution, and I wish it was acclimated correctly, but it shows in red the various lots that ADC was transferring at the time. There was also working with, I believe, with some drainage off of AGP and things like that at the time. And then towards the west, what would be the left hand or the bottom of that page, you'll see two lots, two rectangular square lots. The lot that we're talking about here is the bottom one at the center of the page. It's approximately 12 acres that we would gift back to ADC so that they can complete their funding for some grant funding on the new industrial park. It's actually, now that it's acclimated correctly on your screen, it's on the left-hand side, that larger rectangle right there.
The upper
Yep.
left-hand side.
Yep.
That one's which?
That's the 12-acre lot we're talking about today for the 2024 resolution
To return.
to return back.
And then where's the new one going? Where's the new?
In fact, the potential new public works facility might be that same property back and property to the west of that.
There's
we haven't
another
worked that
6
out.
acres to the west.
Yeah, but I did want to inform the council as well that we have been working with ADC, and Tim Hannigan is here, and Rod Tobin are here on behalf of ADC. We do have a draft purchase agreement that's circulating, but it's very possible that we will be able to bring to the council that piece of property we're talking about for the new public works facility.
Can I ask another question?
Yes, please.
So where's the new industrial park on this?
It's not on this map. It's actually off to the left on what would be west of this map is where the new industrial park is.
Okay.
Well, actually, it's contiguous to what would be the western boundary of the lot we're talking about tonight.
All the way to Roosevelt
Yeah.
Street.
Any further questions? Good information. Thank you, Ron, for that additional detail. Okay. Jordan, I think we're ready for roll call.
Councilmember Ronayne,
Aye.
Fauberg,
Aye.
Liebelt,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Norvstrup,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Johnson.
Aye. Motion carries. With abstention as noted from Councilman Ward. All right, we're looking at item H, possible approval of ordinance amending cable television franchise agreement with Midcontinent Communications to delete in-kind services. Ron?
Yes, thank you, Deputy
Please.
Mayor. Midco notified the city, actually initially in 2019, that it may be coming to us to require us to drop cable services. That was then on hold for the last few years, but they recently notified us that they will elect to drop the free services known as in-kind services that are under our 2018 franchise ordinance, which I'll call the franchise agreement for our purposes here. That franchise agreement required them to provide free cable television services to certain public buildings. And the value of those free services on a monthly basis is approximately $3,500, and that list is part of the letter that was attached to the agenda packet. Of that total, $3,150 per month is for free cable services in the public and Catholic schools. The 2021 affirmance by the Sixth Circuit of the FCC order basically says that if you are maxed out on the franchise fee, which the city is, then you would either have to pay for that service or drop it. And after visiting with Jordan and Robin, the decision was made that we would drop that. So what we have here is an ordinance that drops the in-kind service at Section 2, Paragraph 9 of the franchise agreement. And you'll also see attached to the agenda packet were the several letters that went out to various beneficiaries of this, just to notify them that we were making this change, and that once the ordinance becomes effective, and there's also a provision that requires Midco to accept it, but once it becomes effective and accepted, then they would be getting bills and paying their cable bill like everybody else. So that's the effect of this ordinance. I wish it didn't have to be this way, but this is, the FCC has been kind of doing some seismic changes with the Cable Communications Act, and this is one of them. So staff recommends approval of the ordinance.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
All right, we have a motion from Ronayne, a second from Reinbold.
That was Northstrop.
Oh, I'm sorry. Forgive. And second by Northstrop. Discussion, questions? All right, let's have our voice vote, please, Jordan.
Councilmember Norvstrup,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Ward,
Aye.
Liebelt,
Aye.
Fauberg,
Aye.
Ronayne,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Johnson.
Aye. Motion passes. Item I is possible approval of pay request 4 in the amount of $59,764.98 to B&B Contracting, and change order 4 in the amount of $59,716.44 for project SS 2024-1, which is the Klein Street Storm Sewer. Mr. Nelson, are you able to illuminate us on this, please?
Certainly. Thank you, Deputy Mayor. This is one of the final pay requests we're going to see for this project. A lot of kind of the final parts of the project are in this pay request, like asphalt pavement, curb and gutter, sidewalk, and some storm sewer pipe and some things like that. So that's what the pay request covers. The change order is really mostly reflects quantities that were actually installed in the field. We ended up purchasing about, I think, 4 or 5 pieces of 60-inch storm sewer that was left over on the project. So there's about $10,000 in the change order that goes to that. But staff recommends approving this pay request.
Move to approve.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion from Liebelt, a second from Ward for this item. Questions? All right, pretty straightforward. And getting to the end of this one. Jordan, please.
Councilmember Ronayne.
Aye.
Foberg.
Aye.
Liebelt.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Reinbold.
Aye.
Norvstrup.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Johnson.
Aye. Motion passes. Item J, possible approval of next year's water treatment chemicals. Stu, once again.
I'd like to have our water treatment plant superintendent address this item. Jim Ackerman's here tonight to talk to you about that.
Let's do it. Jim, would you step forward? Thank you. And just let us know what we need to know.
This is approval for the chemicals that we use at the water treatment plant in order to treat the water that we drink from our tank. It is an approximately 10% increase over last year, unexpected. And request that you approve these costs for next year.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion from Reinbold, a second from Norvstrup. Questions? All right, Jordan, let's see how we vote.
Councilmember Norvstrup.
Aye.
Reinbold.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Liebelt.
Aye.
Foberg.
Aye.
Ronayne.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Johnson.
Aye, motion passes. Thank you. Okay, items K, L, and M all concern airport business. And for item K, this is possible approval to authorize city manager to sign the Sharp Enterprises final change order, number 3, in the amount of $25,016.91, and change order number 1, SA, in the amount of $8539.04 for AIP project listed there, and the taxiway geometry improvements and taxiway geometry improvements. Ron, do you want to assist with this one?
I'm going to assist Rich on this one. This, back on November 4th of this year, we had brought a council action request to the council for approval of an agreement with Sharp Enterprises to resolve a dispute. There was an additional payment, and part of that was also closeout of these 2 projects. You'll see this project regarding taxiway geometry improvements at item K, and then also the project for apron reconstruction phase 1 at item L. So this is the final closeout that is part of our contractual agreement with Sharp to finalize all disputes with them. So I know that Helms has continued to process the final contract documents on this to make sure that everything is in line, and I think you're seeing change orders that maybe Rich can speak to if you need that, but this would all be consistent with what that agreement is, and so staff would recommend approval of both this change order at K, and then we'll use the same rationale for item L when that comes up.
Do you want to talk about the pay estimates as well, which are part of this?
I can let Rich talk about the pay estimates if you want.
On, for which,
For
still
item
for K?
K.
Item K.
Yeah.
Okay. So these were actually, quantity adjustments, and some final work that, occurred on these jobs. On both K and L.
All right. Entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion by Liebelt, a second from Councilman Ryanbold. Questions, discussion?
Is that a motion to approve both K and L?
K and L.
Okay. To clarify,
Or
this will
J,
be.
K, and L.
J, K, and L.
No,
Let's-
J is.
Already did J.
J is
Okay.
done, but, so for K and L then, okay? Any other questions? Jordan, please lead us in a vote.
Councilmember Ronayne,
Aye.
Foberg,
Aye.
Liebelt,
Aye.
Ward,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Norvstrup,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Johnson.
Aye, motion carries. Okay, item M is, Rich, we'll be directing this to you, right? Possible approval of pay request to Helms for the following invoice number 20 in the amount of $1365 for AIP project listed there. Runway 1331 rehab and lighting improvements, as well as item 2, invoice 12 in the amount of $2817 for that project listed, which is the GA apron reconstruction phase 2.
Correct. Item, trying to get my paperwork mixed up here. So the first one, M1, is the amount of $1,365.56, and that's for runway project administration, client prep, meetings, and word processing. This project is actually an FAA funded 90%, state 5%, and local 5%. Invoice number 12 in the amount of $28,1798 is basically for the same thing. It's for document preparation, meetings, and final closeout. And this funding was 90% federal, 5% state, and 5% local. And recommend for approval of this.
Thank you.
Move to approve. Second.
We have a motion from Nostrip, a second from Ronayne on this item. There's no discussion. Jordan, help us with the call, please.
Councilmember Norvstrup,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Ward,
Aye.
Liebelt,
Aye.
Foberg,
Aye.
Ronayne,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Johnson.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Council.
Thank you. Rich, how did things go after the ice event over the weekend?
It was a very expensive weekend.
Mm-hmm.
We had 2 de-icing evolutions, one on Saturday morning, and then we had to go back Saturday evening and reapply a second coat.
Yeah.
So we're looking at ballpark of, just in materials, about $6,000.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Flights got out.
You did your job.
We did our job.
Great job.
Thank you.
Well done. All right. That brings us to item N, which is an addition to our agenda, and this is going to be, let's see if I get this right, to execute the contract documents with PKG Contracting on the water reclamation facility expansion phase 1. And Robin, you want to take that one?
No, Ron and I can tag team it.
Yeah, sure.
You know, the council awarded the project, but there was no mention of allowing this to be signed by my office. The bottom line is we are dealing with federal funds, we're dealing with state revolving funds, and we want to make sure that we show that authority was there. We don't want there to be any snags in this process. So, Ron, I don't know if you got anything to add to that.
Just wanted to make sure that authorizes you to execute these contracts. Banner, since the award, Banner has been compiling the contract documents, and that's a process in and of itself. getting certifications in place, and I think we're at a place where we'll be needing to sign that here maybe by the end of this week, and Robin needs that authorization from the council to do that.
Okay.
I would move to give him that authorization.
Second.
Thank you. So we have a motion by Ronay and a second from Reinbold. Very timely item, obviously. Any questions, discussion? Okay, we've been ramping up for this moment, haven't we? So, Jordan, please.
Councilmember Ronayne,
Aye.
Fauberg,
Aye.
Liebelt,
Aye.
Ward,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Norvstrup, Deputy Mayor Johnson.
Aye, motion carries. That brings us to item 8, which is review and approval of claims and payroll. Bills for approval for December 16th, totaling $2.74 million, and payroll approval for the period from December 1 through December 14th for all of the usual items included. I'll take a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion from Ward and a second from O'Neill. Let's have a roll call one last time. Please, Jordan.
Councilmember Norvstrup,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Ward,
Aye.
Liebelt,
Aye.
Fauberg,
Aye.
Ronayne,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Johnson.
Aye to all the above. Thank you. Motion carries. We'll turn the spotlight to Robin Bobzien for our city manager's report tonight.
We had a busy couple weeks here since we last met. We did 7 certificates of appreciation to various employees in various departments. A 5-year to Kennedy Costers in Public Works, a 5-year to Jorge Morales in Public Works, a 10-year to Mark Elsperger from the airport, a 10-year to David Dosh in Code Enforcement, a 10-year to Travis Weissar in Public Works, a 10-year to Ron Wagger. I don't know what department he's in, but and then to Jody Reeder, 25-year in the library. So congratulations to all those folks. That's a huge step for a lot of their careers, and just amazing how many people we have that have those kinds of years of experience and dedication to the community. I also did 9 performance reviews over the course of the last 2 weeks, and it was good. It's a good give and take with the different department heads, and I learned a lot about them, and they learn a lot less about me probably. They know too much already. So, Stu, why don't you talk to us a little bit about, we're going to be doing a notice to the public here about turbidity, and I thought maybe Stu could mention some things that the public's going to see and why we got it.
Sure. So, I don't know, you can help me out with times and stuff. Jim, that was last week.
Every month, we have to turn in a report to the state, giving them total for turbidity, chemical usage, back T samples, things like that. And last month, we were over our limits for the turbidities, which is just the small particles in the water. No health risk involved here. But we're allowed to have 5 out of 100 be above the acceptable levels, and we had 10. So we're required to put out a public notice letting folks know that we went over the limits. And here again, it's not a safety issue, it's just a notification that we went over the limits.
So,
we are in the process of a computer upgrade, and part of that process is what I believe helped cause this issue. We're still in the process of the computer upgrade, so we have our fingers crossed that we won't have to look at this issue again right away.
And we will be sending out a mailing to all water customers to let them know about this violation. So that'll be coming up in the next probably week or two, that'll be sent out.
I think we had a similar one maybe a year and a half ago.
I think,
and maybe another one in 2022.
Right, there was one in April of 2022. I know that date, and I know there was also one in 2023 as well. Yeah. So they're not commonplace, but it happens from time to time.
Yeah.
And those are required to be sent out by USPS mail?
Correct.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, please, Councilwoman.
How do I want to say this? Well, how does a computer upgrade tie to turbidity?
Our turbidity numbers are read by the computer system.
Okay.
And because of the upgrade, our computer systems weren't reading correctly.
Ah.
So we were trying to back things up with our sampling process, but the state is more interested in what we get from the computers.
Got it. Thank you. Appreciate it.
And I think the last time we had an issue with this, it was the probes, I believe, were not reading quite correctly. And you know, there are little things there. This is the water that's leaving your filters, and some of these filters, I think the filters are from the 50s, and we've done modifications to them in the since. But there's some things with this technology that makes it more difficult for us to do it, and we'll have to continue to make improvements out there. So thank you, Jim. Last but not least, I think Stu, Jordan, and maybe Councilman Ward can talk to us a little bit about the Water Growth Summit that they attended this, and I know Tim Hannigan was there as well. It'd be nice to hear what you guys, what takeaways you had from that summit.
Sure. So to start off with, and then I'll let Rich and Jordan interject as well. This was a summit that was put on by the Sioux Metro Growth Alliance, which is a consortium of counties and cities in the southeastern part of the state. And they had a couple panels present, and as well as a couple keynote speakers. And the takeaway that I got is that our position that we're in, trying to procure additional water sources for the city, we're not unique in that regard. And as a matter of fact, the city of Sioux Falls is they're in the process of creating basically a 100-year plan. They're looking out 100 years for their water sources. And on the bar graph that they presented when they were talking about that, there is a big old chunk of when you get out to that 75 to 100 years, there's a big old chunk of that bar graph that's represented by other regional water sources. So in other words, they're still working on it too and trying to figure it out. So that was one takeaway I had, that we're not unique in the situation we're in. And the other takeaway that I got out of this is that there's more than enough water for the whole state of South Dakota that's flowing through Yankton every day. And the amount of water is not the issue. It's how to get the water to where we need it. And I think it wasn't really a buzzword, but regionalization of these things in partnerships was really the way that was identified as what we need to be doing. So exactly what we are doing right now. So, and I guess if you guys have anything else you want to talk about that.
Yeah, that's a great summary from Stu there. And Jordan, you can jump in. I guess a lot of the things, to be honest, were over my head. There's a lot of the stuff when they go on water tower engineering, all that. Man, that is fascinating stuff. But the biggest takeaway I had, exactly what Stu was saying, is I think we're only accessing, 3-4% of the total water that's possible from the Missouri River. And there are other states, even regions such as the city of Las Vegas, that's thinking about ways how they can tap into that. So, we have Representative Perry in the room here. So just as a note as well, less than 5% of the water capacity that we can take from the Missouri River is claimed right now. So the WINS project, a huge thing that they talked about that. We're much more further ahead actually in some of the communities, but other thing that Stu mentioned as well, there's a staffer from Sioux Falls that when they were looking at that graph, they made the comment that we're only planning for 100 years out. And I thought that was a very interesting take on that. And I'd like to encourage us to look, I don't know if 100 years out, but hey, with these kind of projects, it may be wise. So really to look forecasting much, much farther in the future than just, 10, 20 years, but let's see a big picture. So.
I would add that this presentation started with a presentation on Pick Sloan and came all the way through Lewis and Clark pipeline. So the history of water use on the Missouri. Regionalization, of course, is the future according to what the experts say. Federal and state funding is limited and may be reduced going forward. So we should probably plan to or at least anticipate higher utility bills going forward because there are less resources available and higher demands on systems to produce and distribute water.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much for all of your input and summaries there. All right, so this is our next to last 2024 council meeting, and if there's nothing further, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion from Reinbold, second from Ward. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?